Hello YouTube, welcome back to a brand new video. My name is Kevin and this is the Red Pilled American. So this video will be about free speech, because the House is trying to pass a bill that would vote to ban this thing where you could be charged and imprisoned for basically boycotting, an anti-boycott, which would basically punish Americans by law for participating in boycotts of Israel or its settlements if these boycotts are endorsed by international bodies like the EU. This is just ridiculous. Free speech is not negotiable, nor should it be. And the Constitution protects all speech, and that even means speech that is unpopular. That's why it's called free speech. And a boycott is a form of speech. Not refusing to participate in something, So you may not buy something if Israel has any connections to it. Now, no, I don't believe that makes you anti-Semitic for doing that. Even if it did in some cases, people still have a right not to participate. It's not illegal to boycott. This is just ridiculous. Basically, you'd be fined up to $1 million and up to 20 years in prison, and it's some UN and EU have laws like this, so they're trying to pass one similar, the bill to this. So the bill is called HR 867, the IGO Anti-Boycott Act, sponsored by Mike Lawler. Ridiculous. A Republican. Here's the thing, and to go backtrack about that, here's why this is important to know. So last year, there was another bill that was passed related to this, and that was called the Anti-Semitic Awareness Act, where basically criticizing Israel would be illegal in the United States, or the Jews or anything, and doing so would actually censor Bible passages, classing them as anti-Semitic. The Jewish lobby, the Israel lobby, they're one of the biggest lobbies in America. They want to criminalize certain verses in the Bible, specifically Matthew 27 and 1 Thessalonians, the second chapter, as Matthew is pretty clear that, the Jews had him crucified. Now, as a Christian, Christians should not let that distract you. Always remember the plan that Jesus had for us. It was all part of the plan. He gave his life, but in the events that took place, the Jews did have him executed. And Pilate caved to pressure, and he did it anyways, even though he knew he should not have done that, and Jesus being an innocent man. 1 Thessalonians, it talks about how, the Jews were persecuting people who believed in Christ. Apostle Paul eventually converted to Christianity and became the most well-known, he became a saint, wrote most of the New Testament. He killed Christians because Jews saw the Bible, saw God through the law, and they missed the point that it all connected to Jesus. Jesus was the fulfillment of the old covenant, now into the new covenant. So yeah, they want to criminalize certain parts of the Bible. That was a bill last year. And you can't criticize Israel at all. So if you If you do, they'll just call you an anti-Semite and accuse you of, yeah. So I think it's ridiculous. And again, free speech is not negotiable, and you don't need those laws. If people are violent towards a specific group of people, if you're worried about the colleges getting violent towards Jews, well, guess what? You could easily call the National Guard. There's already in place, and there's already anti-racism groups in the Civil Rights Act. It's already against the law to kill somebody. It's already against the law to conspire to commit violence towards someone. So it's already against the law, but yet the government wants to virtual signal to Israel and to the Jews, particularly the elite Jews, being specific here, to call this an that would supposedly combat anti-Semitism. No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. So that was from last year, this bill I'm talking about. But there's another one that was recently proposed that would also make it to boycott. So this is, I guess, the second part of this bill they're trying to do. The other one, I think, failed to ever get anywhere. But the point is that should not even be negotiable. And, they think Trump will sign it. Trump better not sign that. He better not sign that. I don't think he will. I think he's way smarter than that. But you better, this country's been United States no country's been more generous than the United States. And sometimes I think a little bit too generous. Way too generous sometimes without any accountability, because you can like Israel for political reasons. You can, I guess, support Israel for, even biblical reasons. People, Christians, tend to think it's socially acceptable to be, biblically acceptable to be pro-Israel. But, there's no need, the way we show for Israel is just kind of cringe to me, because Israel's not free from corruption. There's a lot of problems I have with Israel right now, but Israel it's believed to have a big part of the end times, and looking at the evidence you're seeing, I can see that happening. I mean, Israel is a nation, and all the stuff you're seeing, you're already kind of seeing. I think it's, whether you believe it or not, it's right in front of you. Israel's always seems to be in the epicenter of all the problems when it comes to wars and stuff. So I don't know, but anyway, that's not the point. The point of this video is about the anti-free speech. And as I said, free speech is not negotiable. And any Republican that backs this and supports this is a traitor to free speech. This bill is nothing but a virtual signal to the Jewish lobby to Israel, just because Israel doesn't want people criticizing them, because they don't like some things. May God open their eyes. Open their eyes of the Jews that have still, for 2,000 years, live in this denial and are searching for things, searching for a Messiah that is not reality. And they're looking for something, just like the Pharisees did. They were looking for something that wasn't Christ. And they still are. It's just the truth. They're waiting for the Antichrist. There are Messianic Jews that are Christians that have received Christ, and I believe it could be a revival among the Jews. So there will be some that will convert, I believe. But, as a whole, a lot aren't looking for what we think they're looking for. And I don't even think they know what they're looking for at this point. But, so anyway, so my point is too with this, I guess my last point before I end here. I think you need to ask yourself, for anyone who's, even if you're pro-Israel, okay, why does Israel have such a huge amount of power over our politicians? Why does Netanyahu have so much power over our politicians? That's for both parties. He actually owns both Republicans and Democrats that shill for them. They're Zionists. Why? Hate to say it, but a foreign country random foreign country is not in the middle. This small should not have that much control over such a big country like ours, especially. Should not have that much control over our leadership. That everything evolves around them all the time. All because they have hurt feelings when people criticize them. Not to mention that's where believe the that clot shots came from Israel. So look, I'd love to go to Israel one day. My family's been there before. Have some great friends that have been there before. You know, it'd be a bucket list to go to, where where everything started from in our faith. It'd be great to see it, but for the politics right now, the politics is quite sad. And I hope a deal can be done where both, Israel and Palestine can live at peace. And, I don't know. I have some opinions, but, the pro-Israel side was all about, take out Hamas. But here's the thing. They've been trying to do that for years, and they still exist. So why haven't they nuked them years ago? I don't know. It just seems a lot of theater and a lot of biased news from both the Israel and Palestine side. Both sides just, wanting to take sides. So, I think people support Israel because it's considered the freest society in the Middle East, and I guess it's good to have a Middle East ally on our side. I do like that it's part of our Christian history where everything started from. So I understand why we're for Israel, but this like shill for Israel, like there are such victims all the time for Jews, it's just kind of annoying to me. So, I don't know. So what do you guys think? I mean, so that is a question. Why does Israel have so much power over this country? It just seems they have a lot more power than and we don't let that happen by any other country. So why is that? And their response for everything we've done for them is to push our politicians to basically censor certain speech because they don't like it, whether it's the Bible or the ability to not want to have service something that they're a part of. Like, really? And Mike Johnson, he's a big Israel shill. He's Israel first, not America first. Everything what Israel wants, he'll yes, Israel. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. I don't believe it's going to go anywhere, and I'm confident Trump's going to say no, to veto that if it doesn't, and we don't even know if it'll go anywhere. I don't think it is going to go anywhere, but bottom line is this bill should not even be up for question or even be brought up, and here we are. So it's ridiculous. Free speech is not negotiable, and it's one thing that I, as they say, I may not agree with it, but I will fight for your right to say it. So, anyway, that's all I have for now. If you like this video, please give me a like. If not, I guess give me a thumbs down. If you like the channel, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. The Red Pilled American out.